Good morning. The news and sport on Radio 2 with Anne and Frank. Diplomats are trying to secure the release of 8 prisoners held in Iran, and the leader of the SNP stands down.
And in sports, Steven Gerrard has decided to stay on at Liverpool. Schumacher misses out on the British and French Grand Prix.
8 British soldiers who were arrested in Iran yesterday have appeared on television. The government in Tehran say the men sailed into its waters without permission. British diplomats have been holding talks to try to get them released. From Tehran, Jim Muir reports.
The 8 men, dressed in military fatigues, were shown sitting on sofas and armchairs in what was obviously an office, although there was no indication of its location. They looked serious, but were clearly unharmed. British diplomats in Tehran have requested immediate consular access to them, but there's been no response so far, nor have they been told where the men are or who's holding them.
Members of the RMT union are planning a 24-hour strike next Tuesday. The walkout is because of a dispute over pay and the closure of a pension scheme. It will disrupt many national rail services and the London Underground. And police officers from across Europe are meeting in the Netherlands to discuss ways of tackling the problem of so-called honour killings. Detectives are looking at more than 100 cases in England and Wales. Our crime correspondent, Neil Bennett, reports from The Hague.
Scotland Yard analysts are examining murder files going back 10 years. Many of the female victims were from South Asian communities. Motives for the murders often included relationships, which the families felt brought them dishonour. Police suspect that some of the murders were carried out by contract killers hired by families.
A team of American researchers are hopeful they may soon be able to create a test to see if some smokers are at a greater risk of developing lung cancer than others. They believe they have identified genes which help some people to ward off the cancer-causing effects of tobacco smoke. And the leader of the National Party, John Swinney, is standing down. His decision follows his party's poor showing in the European elections.
It has become clear to me over the last few days that the constant and relentless speculation over my position is obscuring the political objectives of the SNP. I've come to the view that the SNP cannot make the electoral progress I believe is possible if our vital political message is communicated through an endless debate about my leadership.
Guidelines are issued today to try to protect people who are forced to withdraw large sums of money from their bank to pay for shoddy workmanship sold at the door. They are being launched at today's Trading Standards Conference. Here's our personal finance reporter, Richard Scott.
It's thought that only about 1 in 10 doorstep crimes are reported. One of the worst examples is when a rogue trader forces someone to visit their bank or building society to withdraw thousands of pounds in cash to pay for the work. Now Trading Standards, the banks and building societies, are issuing guidelines and a training video for counter staff.
The artist Stephen Shankland has won the BP award for a painting of his wife and baby son. The prize is worth £25,000. Judges said his painting, which is called The Miracle, is emotional and exquisite.
Headline Sports, Radio 2.
The England midfielder Steven Gerrard has ended speculation about his future by deciding to stay on at Liverpool. Club officials will now turn their attention to try to keep striker Michael Owen at Anfield. The former Liverpool assistant boss, Phil Thompson, says Gerrard's decision to stay is great news for the club's supporters.
I just think it's absolutely fantastic news. I'm really, really pleased. It's been a difficult time for everybody at Liverpool, in particular the fans, because I know on the street and everything, being in the local, watching the England games, everybody, it's been a big concern. I just think it's absolutely superb news for every Liverpool fan.
England's cricketers will be looking for their first victory in the triangular one-day series when they face New Zealand in a day-night game at Chesterley Street today. There are 2 Durham players in England's squad, the fast bowler Steve Harmison and batsman Paul Collingwood.
Stephen and myself are looking forward to the atmosphere. Obviously great to play at your home ground, and we've got a lot of friends and family who will be there supporting us.
Colin Montgomery has given himself a big lift by coming through open qualifying at Sunningdale. It means he's booked a place at his home course Royal Troon next month. He had to come through a 12-man playoff to do it and deal with an unwanted spectator at the 9th hole. But he says he's very pleased to be through.
when you're expected to do something, it's sometimes more difficult, and not just an expectation of it, but also this is probably my last opportunity to play an Open at Troon, and I wasn't in it, and it would have been a shame having missed the US Open not to play in the British one. So I'm very happy that I've got in, especially where it is.
It was a bad day for Justin Rose though. He missed out by one shot, but still has a chance to qualify with a decent finish in one of the next two Tour tournaments. Ralf Schumacher will miss this weekend's French Grand Prix and the British Grand Prix the next weekend. He's still not fit enough after crashing into a wall at the last Grand Prix in America. Williams will confirm his replacement by test driver Marc Jean later today. Our motor correspondent Jonathan Lajard reports.
Schumacher was knocked unconscious by the 170-mile-an-hour impact and still remembers little of the accident. Although he spent only one night in hospital in Indianapolis, he's still complaining of back pain. Because Silverstone follows immediately after the French event, Schumacher won't race again until the German Grand Prix on July the 24th. It's the second time in 12 races that he's withdrawn. He missed last September's Italian Grand Prix after another heavy crash.
And Paula Radcliffe has ruled out the possibility of running both the marathon and the 10,000 metres at the Olympics in Athens. She's got the qualifying time in Gateshead for the 10,000 yesterday, but says competing in both events would be too much.
And finally, the weather. Many areas will start dry with sunny spells, but cloud and patchy rain in the southwest will become persistent and heavy. It will move northeast into Wales, the Midlands and southern England. Winds will get stronger. Scotland will have showers, some of them heavy. That's all for now. There'll be more news and sport in half an hour.